Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. In the words of another great intergalactic hero, Mr. T, Mother, there ain't no other like Mother. In a loose tie-in to Mother's Day, I wanted to review a documentary that I just watched from Real Time Pictures called Day of the Daughters, where they had a bit of a sit-down, quite thoughtful and sensitive interview with Sadie Miller, who is the daughter of the late great Elizabeth Sladen, aka Sarah Jane Smith, and Daisy Ashford, the daughter of the late great Caroline John, aka Liz Shaw. Filming for this documentary took place in 2024 during the Spearhead Live 2 convention at the Wood Norton near Evesham, which was the filming location for the third Doctor story, Spearhead from Space, and the fourth Doctor story, Robot, both being the introductions to new eras of Doctor Who, which is a bit of a coincidence. And yeah, a really beautiful location as well. I definitely need to check that out at some point in my lifetime. This documentary goes into more detail for Sadie and Daisy, respectively sit-down interviews with Nicholas Briggs, who is, of course, the voice of the Daleks, but in more grander scheme of things, he's the co-controller or creative controller of Big Finish Audios. And yeah, that was a great person to have to interview such a sensitive subject involving two women who have lost their mothers due to cancer. And yeah, like I said, he was a good pick for this one. One, he was very, very good at this candid interview, but also he has worked with Caroline John and Elizabeth Sladen, respectively, through Big Finish as well. So there's like that sort of bridging connection for mother and daughter. This documentary talks about how Sadie and Daisy kind of fit into the world of Doctor Who when they were young, with their respective mums going to various conventions. Did they go with them? And kind of what was the sort of sense of growing up with actresses and actors, because obviously their respective fathers were also in Doctor Who, Brian Miller and Geoffrey Beevers. And yeah, how that kind of shaped their life growing up. And it kind of touches upon what it was like to sort of lose their mum. A very somber moment, really, from Daisy in this documentary, more than Sadie, and what it was like to be working for Big Finish, to voice various characters in Doctor Who, but actually being asked to reprise the roles of their mums respectively. So now Sadie is the voice of Sarah Jane Smith and Daisy is now the voice of Caroline John. How they felt being asked to play those iconic roles in the world of Doctor Who, and what they kind of do to get themselves into their roles or respective roles. It doesn't go into like full on sort of acting class details, but you kind of get the sort of elements there for how they kind of go about their roles for respective stories. I really enjoyed this documentary and listening to Sadie and Daisy. And yeah, you can tell that they are definitely the daughters of their mothers. Daisy has definitely got the laugh of Caroline John, which Nicholas Briggs kind of picks up. And you get little clips and snippets from Caroline and Liz, Elizabeth Sladen, at various Doctor Who conventions, probably from the 90s, maybe in the 80s. And yeah, you can definitely hear the laugh of Caroline and the laugh of Daisy. It's very, very symmetrical. And I haven't listened to their any sort of full stories from Big Finish with them being Liz Shaw or Sarah Jane Smith, but I've definitely heard some clips from different trailers that I can find on YouTube. I have to say that Daisy sounds really spot on as Liz Shaw, and yeah, the documentary kind of talks about sort of like how Sadie gets into he's got quite a lot of Doctor Who material, Sarah Jane Smith material to sort of draw on, where for Daisy it's a bit more difficult because there was only a short season for Liz Shaw, but at the same time it's kind of a bit of a bonus for her, because then she can really flesh out the character and sort of go into sort of what how Liz would react to certain scenarios. So it kind of like, just you kind of get an extra exploration of Liz Shaw in that respect. But yeah, Daisy, yeah, is got a very uncanny voice for Liz Shaw. She's definitely doing a mother proud, and Sadie as well. Not quite got the voice as Sarah Jane Smith, and with respect, that's not what they were going for in the roles as Sarah Jane Smith and Liz Shaw. It's basically it's the essence of those characters. That's what we're looking for, and this is what I feel they definitely achieve through Big Finish. Even more so with Sadie recently posting up on Instagram images of her dressed as Sarah Jane Smith from various eras of Doctor Who. But back to the Day of the Daughters documentary, I liked that the layout of this documentary was Nicholas first interviewed Daisy and then interviews Sadie separately, and then they come together and share their own thoughts with the similar questions that Nicholas has asked, and yeah, really sort of just brings home their thoughts of what they were sort of thinking in terms of them reprising their roles, what their fathers thought about them reprising these roles, and what the fans think as well, because they have done various conventions and comic cons in the UK. I'm not sure if they've gone across the pond as well. I hope they have, because they have really nice people. I was very lucky to have met Sadie and Daisy last year at Hooverville in Derby, and I felt I was a bit nervous. It was like a kind of excited nervous, especially meeting Sadie, because I met Elizabeth Sladen before, and for some reason I just found it quite oddly strange that I'll be meeting her daughter, knowing that obviously Elizabeth is no longer with us. And it was kind of like that sort of bridging connection, I think. That's what I kind of felt. But they were both extremely lovely, extremely nice to have met. And what this documentary didn't touch upon, they kind of did, but the sort of added bonus that I got from meeting Daisy at the last year's convention was Caroline John's nervousness of going to her first convention, I think in the 80s, that she would thought, well, no one's going to recognize me, no one wants to see me. And that was far from the truth. And I think that was kind of like, again, documented in this DVD release. Um, of Caroline John being friendly, laughing, approachable, shaking people's hand, taking photos. Yeah, she really embraced it. I think once she went to that first convention, she really embraced it, Caroline John. And yeah, just did everything she could for the fans. Would have been nice if they managed to get some interviews with, say, John Culshaw or Tim Trelaw, as they also work with Sadie and Daisy on Big Finish, just to sort of get their points of view of their roles of their respective characters, especially Tim Trelaw, who is also the voice of the third Doctor in Big Finish Audio. But that's by the by. I've honestly really enjoyed this documentary. It was thoughtful, it was sensitive, it was heartwarming, it was somber. Uh, yeah, all of that rolled into one, and just yeah, kind of you go away with a smile on your face, and also sort of again sort of gives you a lot to think about in terms of losing someone. I mean, luckily my parents are still alive, but I know a lot of people that have lost their mothers or fathers at a very young age. And yeah, it must be a terrible process to go through, an unthinkable and unspeakable sort of process to go through, and how to sort of approach that. Everyone approaches that differently. You can prepare all you can, but I think it's the after part of it. It is kind of probably the more difficult one to process, which Daisy kind of does touch upon in this documentary. And really, it just gave me a sort of a sense of, you've only got one mum, and I know obviously a lot of people will be celebrating Mother's Day in their own way, you know, whether their mothers are here or not. So it's a big salute to the to all the mothers out there, not the a-holes, they're not invited, but the ones who are caring and loving. And again, just going back to this documentary, I feel that I'm not a religious guy in any sense, or you know, spiritualist guy, but I do feel that the forces of Caroline and Elizabeth did combine to kind of shaped Daisy and Sadie respectively to actually become these roles. Again, the documentary goes into more detail, but there was certainly parts of their respective lives where this came at the right time. I can't recommend it enough. It's very easy to find online, and I'm really glad that I picked it up. I picked it up at the Hooverville convention last year, and for an absolute bargain as well, might I add. But there's also a little bit of an extra of some like little blooper reels as well, so you kind of getting the fun and the joy of this interview as well, with it being such a hard-hitting subject to talk about as well. But yeah, it's you know, it's not all sort of tear jerking and get the tissues out. It is, you know, there is a lot of fun, laughter, and warmth from this documentary. Apparently, you can hear in the background some noises from the convention in parts of the interviews. I didn't hear it, but I just thought I'll let you know from that. But you know, for something from a sort of production standpoint, I thought it looked really good. I heard everything crystal clear, good camera work, and beautiful location being at the same time as that convention. So in tribute to Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day, Moogie, and happy Mother's Day to all my fellow Whovians. Have you managed to see Day of the Daughters documentary? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what other Doctor Who related documentaries, official or otherwise, do you recommend, and I'll try and watch them in the future. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. Hit the cloister bell for more notifications. Come say hello and follow me on Facebook and X, and do check out my other fantastic Doctor related content on the Timey Wimey Review TikTok page, and of course right here on the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. Whatever you're doing today, have a fantastic Mother's Day. Until we meet again.